it was about time to make a video in English. We have so much to talk about. Starting with, do you know why your comments are very useful? Because sometimes I watch back some old videos just because I get a comment and I find new ideas. So let's watch together this video. It's just 1 minute. It's very cool, it's working, and will be very useful to understand my idea later.
When you have too many boards on your quiver, you cannot miss an LDP, a setup to make long-distance pumping. This is the Black Dog, one of the cheapest in the commerce, but having the right angles on front and back, it worked perfectly. Add to the equation that you tried everything with wheels, and obviously your name is Joamenta. Could you miss the opportunity to have a DIY LDP that really doesn't cost anything? You only need to have a surfskate adapter like a Waterborne, and for the back track a reverse kimping mounted backwards to reach a negative turn.
And here comes my idea, using the back railer to put the back tracks backwards very easily and fast. It will be a long distance pumping setup, but made just with a Waterborne adapter and the back railer. I did something similar in the past, but I was using instead a major arc track in the front. In the description you can find the full video. But with the Waterborne the difference is that we have much more turn in the front. So it may act like an LDP, like pump better, but not exactly like an LDP, because we'll keep having some turning, we'll keep feeling like a surfskate. And the nice thing is that I can turn the back track, as I already did here, just screwing and unscrewing the back rail, so that in a moment I can go back to my regular surfskate setup, and then in 5 seconds just switch back to this more pumpable setup, like an LDP, but still quite surfy. What is happening when we mount the back track backwards is that the back track turns on the opposite side. So when I'm leaning on the right, it turns on the left. When I'm leaning on the left, it turns on the right. I call this a negative turn, because it's actually contrasting the turning of the front track. If both tracks were identical, this system wouldn't work, because the skateboard, instead of turning, will just move sideways, like a crab. But instead, having a very turny track in front of the board gives the feeling of a longer deck with a 0-degree back track that you can pump with a symmetrical compression and decompression of your legs, which is how a long-distance pumping setup actually works. In this case, the Waterborne is set in mega pump. It means that it's more turny and lean less in the front. And now we will change it in super curve, so it will lean more for less turning. To switch from mega pump to super curve, I need to twist these 2 little discs. You need to match this little arrow with the text super curve. We are just changing the angle in between the 2 plates. In mega pump it's quite open, and the super curve it is almost at 0 degrees. You need the top disc to level up the nut in order to match the new inclination. Just play with it. One sense is totally wrong and the other one will work perfectly. Okay, it's not bad. However, with the reverse kimping, the mega pump seems to work better. Probably because the reverse kimping track already lean a lot, so it is good to take out some leaning from them. I can feel that the super curve will be a better match with traditional kimping tracks, so tracks that will lean less already. Using traditional kimping track, I can have a lower setup. They are also narrower, so that we can almost avoid wheel bites in the front, even not using risers. Now we are using 70mm wheels without riser, I get some wheel bite in between the wheel and the adapter itself actually, but it's not a big deal. The problem will be in the back, where it's usually impossible to avoid wheel bites mounting 70mm wheels under the back rail without risers. But this specific deck, the Scorpion decks from Waterborne, have these lateral cuts that avoid the wheel bites. As the front track can wheel bite in between the wheel and the adapter if I lean all the way doing a maneuver, let's say an extreme situation that I can actually control. The back track also will bite the side of the Scorpion. And so also for the back, if I want to fit the 70mm wheels having zero wheel bite in any situation, I will still need like, let's say, a riser of 1/4 inch. Or you can just use 65mm wheels.